This is the Army's Mountain Warfare School. Students in the 14-day training endure frigid temperatures and dangerous terrain. Those who complete the course become military mountaineers. Soldiers in mountainous countries like Russia and China are familiar with this type of terrain, and the U.S. could be at a disadvantage if it isn't ready to fight in it.
If you think about the specific domains that a soldier could be operating in, the Army recognizes a few: jungle, desert, Arctic, mountain. And if you put together a Venn diagram of all those things, the one commonality is actually mountains. That's why we think this training here is just so vitally important.
It's a bad time to say I'm afraid of heights.
You're going down, look down.
He said, look down?
The gods of the valleys are not the gods of the hills. It's a quote you'll see pasted all over the schoolhouse. It's a differentiator that tells soldiers in the mountains that they're different and that they need to be harder and they need to go further, faster, and they need different skills.
The Army Mountain Warfare School is located at the Camp Ethan Allen training site in Jericho, Vermont, about 45 miles from the Canadian border. The government invested $30 million into a new schoolhouse that opened in 2023. It features a private ski hill and lift, supply and rope rooms, and a 3-story climbing wall.
Get her done.
We train about 80 to 85% of the Army's military mountaineering requirements. Our primary course is the basic military mountaineer course. It's a 2-week course founded on the basic principles of military mountaineering.
During the course, the students are tested on knots,
It's not my best knot.
land navigation, and rappelling on steep cliff faces. Between 600 and 700 students begin the basic course each year, but only about 500 make it to graduation.
You have 5 non-locking carabiners. They got 2 on each thumb, 1 in the middle. 3 locking carabiners.
Before training begins, students check out up to 55 pieces of specialized mountain gear.
I can curl my toes. I don't know if that's good. Like, how tight are you using?
The inner boot, you don't want it to be squishing your toes. You want to have like a little bit of room, maybe just like 1/4 of an inch.
Not everyone who attends the school is in the Army, like Captain Jake Murray.
So I'm in the Air Force. I just want to see kind of what like the Army school is like, kind of how they like walk, talk, and whatever.
The 51 students split into 3 squads. We followed 2nd Squad, led by Staff Sergeant Nick Honeycutt, a student tapped to be squad leader.
I'm based out of Fort Bliss, Texas. No snow out there, and then to come here where it's 10 degrees, it's real different. I'm coming from El Paso. It ain't, I mean, it might get cold, but it ain't this cold. I'm doing fine.
Among the students in 2nd Squad are the only 2 women in the course. 38-year-old Sergeant Jessica Norton didn't join the Army until she was 34.
I always wanted to join the military, but I graduated after 9/11 and my brother was already in the Navy and my mom asked me to wait. And then kind of just life happened.
Based at Walter Reed Medical Center, Lieutenant Megan Eiler is looking to get some hands-on experience in hazardous terrain.
I'm that random medical person where everyone's like afraid I'm gonna fall down the cliff. This is the kind of stuff that like you go out with your units and you're like, I know the injuries theoretically that you're gonna get, but you haven't lived it before, so it's hard to help prevent them until you do stuff like this.
This guy.
He's always on me. He's always right here in my face.
Just a week ago, I didn't know any of them. I had a bunch of coworkers who love tying knots, so they were just like, hey, yeah, we'll show you.
No, the inside is where it's going to come out. That's how you know you did it right.
Okay.
The knot test is about 1 weekend on the course. We see that there's generally a 15% attrition rate, and of the 15%, the vast majority are from the knot test.
What is a knot?
The rope tied over itself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so there's loosen bites to create a loop or to create the rope into like a working mechanism.
21-year-old Alex Sierra is a cadet in his senior year at nearby Norwich University in Vermont.
Yeah, I just sit at my desk hours upon hours just practicing. To a point where like every night I go to bed and I like imagine in my head like how to do it properly.
He joined the school when a walk-on spot opened up 2 weeks before the course began.
You just show up with the right paperwork saying like, hey, we're interested, is there any space for us to train?
Like how does that work? Like you're gonna miss classwork?
I just told my professor, hey, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. So like, okay. I'm like, I'll try to do schoolwork if I have any service up here. So I'm gonna try later tonight, try to do an assignment before going to bed.
I'm gonna be gassed. That's my prediction. And if I make it past that stick, as soon as we take a couple steps up that hill, I think I'm done.
Everybody should be layered appropriately, meaning a little comfortably cool. I would say miserably cool, but it's not that cold out. Coming right out of the door, you should be feeling cold. Probably a better thing to say is starting off miserably cold is more like it most of the time. And what that's referring to is not wearing too many layers when you're going to be moving.
Soldiers rely on Equix, the extended cold weather clothing system, to keep them warm and safe in frigid temperatures.
The 7-layer system, I think we started with 3 layers. And 3 layers is really what a layering system should consist of, which is a base layer, insulating layer, and a shell.
Even today with a light movement and not a lot of stuff, my pack is still around 50 pounds, right? At 50 pounds with terrain like this is just, it's really going to add a lot of extra exertion for me. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to wear all these layers underneath to make myself extra hot.
I wish I had a full-length mirror to see what the hell I look like. We're deploying people, I mean all around Europe where my brigade's aligned with UCOM. We could use, maybe not mountaineering training, but definitely how to exist in a cold weather mountainous environment.
Students practice navigating the snowy environment with their new gear.
I don't want to hear cheerleading. I don't want to hear talking at all. So we're going to move fairly slow today. I'm not trying to break anybody off, but if I hear talking, I'm just going to pick up the pace until I don't hear talking anymore.
We don't typically yell. We just walk in silence. And they figured out pretty quickly that it's their own demons that are going to keep them in, paying attention and in line. The environment is all it takes to harass a student. We do not do that. The hill does it for us.
Yeah, so I had surgery a few months ago. I had a bilateral fasciotomy, so because of compartment syndrome in my legs due to training for selection. But now I just need to keep challenging myself, make sure I'm still good to be where I'm at, and working with the people that I work with, so because I don't want to let them down. This is kind of my first step back into anything tactical or difficult in the Army.
When was your surgery?
September, and then I was medically cleared in December. December 5th, I was jumping out of planes again, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
I think one of the most important takeaways from this school is learning how to walk uphill. Looking at the history of warfare, most of what it is just putting on a heavy load, grabbing a weapon, and moving uphill, up steep hills. And so one of those tools that we're using today is crampons. It's got spikes on it, and that's gonna give us traction in the snow. So biggest issues, and that I remember I had with the general purpose crampons at first is like getting the sizing And then because also they don't know how to walk in it, it blows.
Yeah, I mean, I took two steps up there and they're off again after fixing them.
It's just about dialing them in and adjusting them.
Yeah, this is the day we like kind of work out these little quirks. See that? Like, that's good. So let's measure it to the other one. Okay. And it's really not about getting your bowstring tight.
Okay.
It's really not. You're gonna be fine just by doing like mortal strength tight. Thank you. All right.
The students learn to angle and place their feet with a technique called flat footing.
It's really an art. It's really your biggest tool through the terrain that you guys are expected moving is just understanding how to use the handphones. That'll get you through most terrain that we expect you guys to be able to facilitate. Pointing those toes downhill.
So I'm Vermont National Guard. I'm a specialist in a combat engineer unit.
Why would you sign up for this school?
It was one of the big things on my bucket list, honestly.
Anything you're nervous about over the next 2 weeks?
Maybe the knot test, but actually no, probably the written test. I'm not very good with school knowledge and stuff like book smarts, but my real strength is being out and being hands-on.
On day 4, 2nd Squad rucks a couple of miles to an area called Castle Rock, where they'll practice climbing and rappelling.
The purpose is just to start getting them with a little bit more mileage as they go day by day, and then starting to increase the slight bit of technicality in the movements that they're doing. So they'll go over flat ground one day, and then we try to get like a little bit more rocks, a little bit more incline, a little bit farther day by day.
But first, they encounter an unexpected obstacle.
So let's get one person up top to assess what's going on the top. Is that a major? Yep. Expendable, right on.
I didn't want to say anything, but the fonts in your PowerPoint presentations, a little off.
I'll tell you what, so you give me 3 courses of action how to fix it later on, and I'll get it done.
1, 2.
Yep. I got your foot. I got your back.
You got a loop right there, you got hands.
I got a foot. I hate myself. I hate all of you. I like Jake though with the camera.
So that's like one small factor of what we're trying to get into. Small obstacle, wouldn't show up on a map. Did the rope help us? Yes. Absolutely, right? In the summertime, we don't use the rope. This is always echoed to me, is this very simple saying, no one gives a fuck what you did right. And it's the truth. And I don't mean that we're looking like for kudos or anything kind of things like that. We need you to be critical of every movement that you're doing through here and analyzing it and critiquing yourselves and each other as you go through, because we're only gonna get 1 rep of that in that one time that we've done it. But we should have a learning experience, every little thing that we're doing, about how to try to make it better for the next time.
Slipping and falling is pretty likely, especially in these conditions. What methods do we have to move on a fixed rope?
Students first get comfortable climbing using a hand-over-hand method. To come back down, the students employ what's known as a hasty rappel, by wrapping the rope around their back and using their body to create friction.
That's the brake position, and that can even be more straight, going right across your body. You see how you lost friction there?
Yes.
Extend that out so more materials are on your chest. Nope, this one. That one stays straight and tight. Lean into it, and then you can sit there and it locks out and you sit there.
This is not getting warm at all.
What are you trying to make here?
Some spaghetti. Trying to put it in the heater that comes with the MREs. They don't work a lot of the time though. This one seems to not be working.
So it's cold spaghetti?
Probably. Most likely the case.
What are you eating?
Beef taco filling.
No tortillas or anything?
There's tortillas in here somewhere. I'm lazy. I don't want to fuck around putting it together. So I'll eat at lunchtime. It's fine.
How is that hitting after being out in the cold all morning?
Honestly, it's kind of terrible because it's colder than like the outside is right now. Like cold MREs or whatever, but like icy MREs are a new level of interesting.
As of yesterday, I hadn't had an MRE in 6 years, so this is my second one now in 6 years. Yesterday was my first one.
I love the Air Force with their Hilton hotels.
Strawberry jam and peanut butter. That's it. Just the way I like it. I want to get a close up of that right there.
It's a bad time to say I'm afraid of heights.
Students rappel down a 30-foot cliff face. A daunting task now, but merely a warm-up for the cliffs they'll face in the coming days.
The most difficult part is getting over this edge. So just take it easy, stay in balance. Are you fighting the rope pulling you one way or another, or are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
If you're going down, look down.
You said look down?
Yeah, that's where you're going. When you're walking, you don't look behind you, right?
Try and drop this thing out of that cave.
So, what do you think happened there?
I didn't get my weight over enough to keep myself in a position where that weight was centered on my feet as I came down.
Yeah, and you know, you hear a lot of coaching or rappelling, oh, wide feet. It's not necessarily the case. You're just staying in balance, staying in the fall line, choosing where your feet go and being deliberate.
I got it.
You're good.
When you have gloves on, you know, you don't really, they get all gross, so you don't want to touch yours in, so.
To help fight fatigue from the long hours of the school, many students use nicotine products like Zen.
You need a freshie?
Yeah, I suppose I'll take a topper.
Dude.
Yeah.
So you know it's real.
That's hot. It does help to stay awake when you're tired, in my opinion. Most people don't think that, but I switched from chew just because it was getting a little gross and kind of sick of it. And seems like it's better for you. I don't know. It's approved by the FDA now, so thank you, RFK.
What is an altimeter? Measures altitude.
Back in the classroom, students learn how to use an altimeter, an essential device they'll use tomorrow during their land navigation test, the first test of their skills that could tip the scale toward making graduation or going home early.
Using an altimeter, you can locate cachings and interpret and monitor changing weather.
But bad weather can bring a change in barometric pressure, which can cause the device to give a false altitude.
Barometric pressure not only changes with your altitude, but it's also constantly changing. The time limit is 5 hours. You must find 4 out of 5 points to receive 80%. All right, there will be 5 points out there that you will plot. You must get 4 out of 5 to get at least 80%. Mainly the weather is going to be pretty brutal out there today. It is going to be a little bit of a sufferfest. We want to make sure that you are still cohesive, right? We want to make sure that your brain is still functioning correctly. We don't want you out there any longer than 5 hours.
These points suck.
Outside, a winter storm has rolled into the area, creating near whiteout conditions.
Not entertained.
And threatening the accuracy of the students' altimeters.
It's gonna be tricky. Gonna be tricky.
Kind of nervous. Never done land nav in this kind of weather condition. Strategies like try to stay calm as I can be. You know, take my time.
I can't think of any other place I'd rather be doing land nav at right now than
the beach would be nice.
Than Jericho, Vermont, with the temperature being, you know, in the teens, blowing snow. But we're just gonna give it our best college effort. I already can't see a fucking thing.
Could you see? If I come back here with nothing, I mean, you look at these conditions. I've never been in conditions like this before, so I think I can forgive myself.
GPS device is attached to every student, monitoring their location in case of an emergency. When the students find a point, they use a hole puncher to mark it on their score sheet. Instructors drive around in SUSVs to help those who veered too far off course.
You know, we're probably right in this area. If that's the tallest thing that's out here, and this point's the tallest thing, what do you think? It's up there. Could be.
I got the wrong point on my card then, because I marked the point that was down there.
Okay, well, let's see if you can find this one. Okay. All right.
I just found another point on that peak. It was pretty exciting. I stopped just before the ridge line to take a leak, and I was like, shit, I'm never gonna find this. And then I walked like 10 more feet up and I found it. So it's going good.
How's it going?
It's fine. I'm really bad at land nav. I can like plot all the points, but the moment I gotta like actually go out and find the stuff, it's bad. But I can get back to the schoolhouse, so that's really what I care about.
I think I found it. I got one point. It's on the bottom. I'm gonna go there and hopefully find that one, and then it's good enough for a pass, but I'll see if I can find the last one. So we got 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, something like that. We got time, just gotta book it down there. Are you gonna meet me at the next grid point? Can you? And just stand next to it with the armored vehicle so I can know where I'm going?
After 3.5 hours, Murray is the first member of 2nd Squad to cross the finish line.
There you go, Jake.
Good, I think. Hoping it's right. Feels right. Only way to find out is turning the scorecard.
Falling short on the land nav test won't send the students packing, but it can hurt their chances of graduating later.
You start off mountain school with 10 magic points, we call them. So every time you fail a test here, you lose 2 out of your 10 magic points. Once those 10 magic points are gone, you go home.
How many did you get, Jake?
All 5. Much to my surprise.
Found 2 points. Obviously need to freshen up on land nav, but it's completely different. I mean, the snow's all the way to above your knee.
Probably one of the more difficult land nav courses I've ever done, just terrain-wise and the elements. Real fun though. It sucked, but I enjoyed it.
I noticed you don't have any shoes on. What's up with that?
I took the boots off now, so that way I didn't have to deal with it and let my feet air out. It's all cold anyway.
You seem a little less enthused as you were last time I saw you.
I found 2 points in like 20 minutes when you saw me last. I'm happy I found 4. If I only found 3, I'm happy with that too.
Nice job, 4 out of 5.
I'm pretty good then.
Crushed it.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
When the test ended, 25 out of the 51 students had failed to find 4 out of the 5 points, a fail rate of 49%. Up next, the knot test.
I'm pretty confident in the knots. I'm just not confident in telling y'all the definition. Like, y'all are gonna be like, oh, what's this knot doing? I'm gonna be like, it's tied to itself. I don't fucking know.
The nerves, you definitely start.
Yeah, a little bit.
The knot test is a venerable event for the mountain school. It has made many, many students nervous. It's very nerve-wracking, and it's for a reason, and it should make you nervous because the consequences of doing something incorrectly are disastrous.
Your cadre will tell you the knot that you're tying, the time standard that you need to tie it within, and they'll probably give you like, if it's a 2-minute or 1-minute knot, they'll give you like a countdown when time is kind of getting close.
Students are tested on 15 different knots and their purposes.
A little nervous, sure. It's one of those go home versus not go home tests, so
A correctly tied knot counts for 16 points, and a correctly recited purpose counts for 4 points.
Purpose of the butterfly coil is to prepare rope for carry.
Students must receive 240 points out of a possible 300 to pass.
I guess I'm as ready as I'll ever fucking be.
This is what I would recommend. Don't put the pressure on the test. Just pretend it's another study. If they ask for not to tie the knot, move on.
We don't try to calm them down too much. Like, it is what it is. But these knots have to be perfect. We like that you can do it under stress, because that's what often we do in the military.
I'm going to tell you what you're going to tie, what you're going to tie it with, and then I'm going to say it and repeat it twice, and then you'll begin. All right, you're going to start with the bolt.
Can I take my top off?
Yeah.
Purpose is to form an anchor around to form an anchor.
You're going to grab your cord next, and you are going to tie a square knot.
Purpose of a water knot is to join two pieces of tubular webbing. Prepare the rope.
Good.
What's my time?
The next thing you're going to tie is a prusik.
Purpose of the expedient harness is to form a harness out of webbing for climbing or rappelling.
So you got a 172 out of 240 allowable points, all right? Now, this is not the end of the world.
With a failing score, Honeycutt is sent to 20 minutes of retraining, then one more chance to pass the test.
I know how to tie the prusik, but I just can't ever get the knot in the right spot.
So let's put it right where we want it, all right? Girth hitch. I'm pinching so I'm not changing its location, right? Do it again. All right, running to the center each time and do it one more time. It's gonna stay right there. And he'll put you in the front of line. You are, good luck.
How'd you do, Sergeant?
Fucking terrible.
That bad?
I think you're supposed to go to the front of my dog.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking my time. I want to see more people do the walk of shame like I did.
They feel
worse than before, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, worse on the purpose than I do on the knots.
Yeah. Don't get too hung up on the purpose. It's not nearly hard.
Purpose of the prusik is for a movable friction hitch under tension.
You're off to a good start.
It's not my best knot.
So this guy, you tied properly this hitch. You really got to cinch that down.
Cinch it down. That's what I have problems with.
Yeah, it's a pain. You're cruising up until then. You're still good though.
Too easy.
So figure 8 on a bite with the rope for 30 seconds.
Purpose of figure 8 on a bite is to form a loop at the end of rope.
We got some twists in there. Functional knot in reality, but it's not tar standard, unfortunately. You're still cruising, man. You only got 2 knots down right now. Just gotta finish strong. What do you think?
I think it's good.
I think it's good. Nicely done. So the final one is the butterfly coil.
The purpose of this knot is to prepare rope to be carried.
So go ahead and take that off. You can undo it, and plop it on the ground, take a peek at it. So you see how loose this is already? It's because you didn't wrap and catch and then wrap up, you just wrapped down. And I want to say you also did this on the wrong one. Okay, so what did we miss? 1, 2, 3, 4 knots. 4 times 16 is 40. 6, 12, 24. That's 64. So that is 236, unfortunately. So you're just barely below 4 points under the required 240. Little mistakes.
Honeycutt failed the knot test by only 4 points. Dropped students must return their gear and head to the airport.
What's next for you?
I'm gonna go home and reevaluate some things and maybe try to come back for the summer class.
Along with Honeycutt, 5 other students failed the knot test and were dropped from the course, including Sierra.
I like how to go.
How's that good?
The knot test is where we lose most of those folks, which is appropriate because if they don't learn the knots or show the capacity to learn at that point, then they won't be able to learn the follow-on systems successfully.
It's always just like one little thing that gets me. Just one little thing. But that's about it. That's how it goes.
You excited to get back to the warmth?
Yeah, it's like 75 degrees in El Paso. It's gonna be a drastic change. First thing I'm gonna eat when I get back, depending on the time of day, if it's around dinner time, I'm probably gonna make me either a steak or a nice couple of nice chicken thighs, and I'll have no matter the time of day, I'll have a nice cold beer. I'm gonna drink one just for you, Jake.
Help wanted, male. Experts in mountain climbing, skiing, or woodcraft, please apply. Uncle Sam needs you.
Like most things between the Americans and the rest of the world, like our history in mountain warfare is shorter. In the lead up to World War II is the first time we really identified that need and started to address it. The National Ski Patrol, they're the corps that formed the initial 10th Mountain Division and the Army's cold weather and mountain training programs.
Mountain climbing is of prime importance in today's global war. For some of the roads to Berlin and Tokyo are only rocky ranges.
After World War II, the Mountain Division was immediately disbanded until the 80s, when the Army really picked the ball back up when they resurrected us, the Army Mountain Warfare School.
What once seemed like specialized training is now key to the Army's Arctic strategy.
The Arctic is strategically vital to U.S. national security. Russia continues to pose an acute threat to security and stability in the region.
We know for a fact that the Arctic is becoming more important as ice potentially thaws, the Northwest Passage opens up, we've got more shipping going through the areas. We know that the Arctic is rich in all sorts of natural resources that may become contested in the future.
I'm Major Perry. Welcome to our crew. So, made out of wood and snow, mostly. We have a foyer here, as you can see, and then incredibly cozy.
With the critical knot test behind them, the students who passed get a reward, a night spent outside camping in the snow.
It was probably approaching 0. They are not in a heated tent. They are just out there with their entire 7-layer system, the 3-layer bivouac or sleep system.
That was pretty good. Captain and I got to know each other in there. Think about it, midnight I had to take a pee. We had to change like the whole shelter around so I can get out.
When you're in the field and you pack the boys in like a bunch of sardines, you kind of got to sleep on your side. It wasn't the best, so I was waking up every once in a while because I got shift, and I'm like, oh, this isn't great.
How do you feel now that you're kind of on the other side of that big test day and you're like in the second half of the schooling?
Oh, I feel great. I was a little nervous going into that knot test, but now that we're out of it, I feel much better.
You just kind of returned after the surgery. How are you feeling soreness-wise?
Fine. Yeah, I'm not having any issues physically here, which is good. I'm still able to keep up with the boys, so to speak.
With Honeycutt's departure, Norton was appointed as the new squad leader.
You've been given the opportunity, the honor to be squad leader. How's that?
The voluntold.
You've been voluntold. Yeah, tell me about that.
I have kids, so they probably think I'm bossy, but I just reiterate everything they tell me. I just like make sure everybody comprehends. Luckily, I'm working with a lot of soldiers that just know what they're doing, so it's really nice.
After we finished filming the night before, one additional student failed a test, losing his last magic points, and was dismissed from the course.
Climb up the ice wall today?
I am.
That's exciting. Are you gonna laugh when I fall? I can just hang out on a wall for a little bit. I'm like, I don't need to move. It's fine. I'm not going anywhere.
Shortly after we filmed with her, Eiler was seen curled up on the ground.
So they took her into the back of the Susby, warm her up. She sounded like she was about to pass out. I think might be dehydration. It's hard to force water in this environment.
Is she all right?
Yeah, she's doing all right. I think just overexertion, and she's been beating the brakes off herself. Yeah, we'll bring her inside, warm her up for a little bit, see how she's feeling, and we'll have a better idea then.
But Eiler did not return to the course.
Why are we standing at the base of an ice wall that's 5th class terrain? That's cool. If we think about it in terms of how long we have you guys, best case scenario, basic course, 2 advanced courses, that's 6 weeks. So if we can get you into this and say, hey, this stuff's pretty rad, maybe you'll go out and do it on your own.
The mountain school features a 30-foot artificial ice wall that uses water from a nearby stream to keep it covered with ice throughout the winter.
Looking at my feet, I have to put my hips away so I can look at my feet. Feet together. Underneath that high tool. Hips in to get my weight over my toes.
Pretty fun.
I've got you.
Not super good at it yet, as you can tell.
Nope, they need that tool in there somewhere. Climbing.
Well, a little tiring. Ice to the face kind of sucked.
Students learn to safely lower a casualty by using knots they learned during week 1 and building a rope system.
So this brake strand, right? If we look at this, see how it's now being captured.
Gotcha.
The reason why we capture that this brake strand is so that it doesn't move or go anywhere. If we do an underhand, right, and we try to put it through here,
It's just not going to catch.
right.
Why are you doing such weird things with your hands?
It's making me nervous. Can you show
I don't
me
know-
again?
I don't know what to do with my hand.
Check it. Look, watch.
It's because you just show up out of nowhere and like.
I don't even have to look. See that?
Well, I do. But.
You are now the only woman in the course. What's it like being the only woman in a course full of all these guys?
Again, it's a little bit intimidating. I was a little sad yesterday because, I don't know, as women, you kind of, we were only 2, so you kind of just bond a little bit and make sure you're both on the same page getting the information. And she was a higher rank, so like she was a lieutenant, so she had more confidence talking to all the guys and being comfortable around them. So now I have to kind of use my skills of communication to be able to get them all the information and make sure I have all the information that I'm, doing the right thing.
All right, who wants to quit? Anybody? Who wants to quit? Come on, Drago. You know you want to get on the bus. Here's your chance. Right on the bus. No quitters, huh?
Fucking smoked.
Is your hair frozen?
Yeah. Well, my sweat seemed to turn to ice already on that hill. Just on the top, though. Now to cover it up.
Shooting in the mountains isn't going to be on a nice flat grassy range like we're used to training on. It's going to be in broken terrain with rocks. It's so not the most comfortable position.
The thing to remember with a high angle range though, it is they're shooting the hypotenuse because they're at a certain distance higher than the target. In our case, it's about 300 meters higher.
More or less, if you're just being shown to compensate for the angle, is if you were not seeing the impact on the target, to aim low.
Each shooter has a spotter who observes the targets.
Nothing observed.
Go ahead and repeat that shot.
All right.
Impact.
Weapons can freeze up when it gets cold enough. Powder burn rates decrease, which can affect the rate of fire, but more so than like the physical things that are happening to the weapons is what's happening to the shooter. All right, when we're cold, like we don't shoot as well. We make more mistakes. We breathe on our optics, so now we can't see through them, right? Our glove gets in the way of the ejection port cover, and now we have a malfunction. Things like that. I'm missing a locker.
On day 11, students must pass a test in casualty evacuation, or Casevac, using the lowering system they learned on day 9. Failing this test results in dismissal from the course.
So they have 12 minutes to completely build the system. Their rucksacks represent the patient that they're being attended for.
Gariri has 2 minutes left.
I'm fucking up.
2 minutes.
What am I doing wrong here?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Stop what you're doing. So your mule isn't cinched down either, so you can see that there would be a lot of play in that. All right, back it up.
I want to protest it, don't I?
Okay.
So we were told yesterday by Sergeant George that we would have those tied in prior to. We wouldn't be timed on tying those in. So I think that if I had a little bit more time, I wouldn't have freaked out as much. Because I messed up on the mule, or not on the mule, but tying that initial Persic and lost time. And then as you were counting down, rushed through. According to Sergeant George yesterday during the study hall, he told everybody those would be pre-tied for us. We wouldn't be timed on them.
So you think that this thing,
the green, yes,
is all that fucking cost you?
Master not. I think that the time on that, I mean, like I wouldn't have fucked my way through it.
Because I literally heard you going, I don't know what I'm doing.
I did say that because I was frustrated trying to get that initial Persic knot tied.
The 12 minutes is designed for that. So whether you were told that or not is kind of irregardless.
Okay.
Is this just falling apart or what?
A little bit.
It's okay, man. Well, pack it up.
All right, son. Looks like I'm out.
What happened?
Just running out of time, kind of getting in my own head. I tried to challenge it, as you probably saw. But I don't think that's going to go in my favor.
You made it pretty far. How do you feel making it to day 11?
A little shitty. I mean, nobody likes failure, right?
Do you think you're going to come back and try to do it again?
Oh yeah. This is a course that I've wanted since I joined the Army, so it'll be something. Maybe, I've kind of done the winter part at this point, so maybe I'll come in the summer now. Hopefully I'll find honeycut.
That's pretty deep there, bud. How you doing today?
Look at the size of that one.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Who here has been to Afghanistan? Has anybody heard of the Karez system?
The Karez system in Afghanistan is a series of unmarked centuries-old tunnels and trenches that was used by the Taliban to evade detection and hide weapons.
Down you go, just like we've taught you to rappel.
That did come from a request, lessons learned from Afghanistan. Folks going down into wells and discovering gaseous air, unbreathable air, and what do you do at that point?
Nice and tight.
We decided to take some old school knowledge that we had of lashing a tripod together to give you some additional height, which is much easier than ripping somebody over an edge.
All right, brother.
belt device as close to the anchor as you can and slowly weight it.
It's pretty cozy in here. I might just stay.
Remember, there's gases and you're about to pass out.
Ah, no, it's fine.
Oh. What was that?
Now what? I was more worried about the
now
boys.
What? You gotta go back down.
Now what?
On the penultimate day of training, students ruck 3 miles to OP Hill.
OP Hill training area, just below the high angle range, is a 200-foot cliff high by a couple hundred feet in width, with numerous difficulties of climbing, scrambling, and we set up 3 different routes for the soldiers, for each squad.
This serves as a warm-up for the culminating event, the mountain walk at Smuggler's Notch.
We lost some people yesterday, dude. Did you hear about it? What a shame.
Along with Giriri, Lieutenant Prost from 2nd Squad was cut from the course the night before after running out of his 10 magic points.
Passed my test. I only got 1 question wrong.
Really?
Yeah, I was scared shitless for it. I can't test for shit.
Actually be better if you bump your left foot out to the left a little bit from the swing.
In general, we really focus on fixed ropes during this class. It's not about individual movement or individual climbing techniques. We're not making world-class climbers here. We are making folks who are able to negotiate a fixed rope and install really simple fixed ropes.
Carabiner first.
What's
that? Carabiner first.
The reason being, tell me.
So you have something locked into the next point?
Yeah, otherwise you run the risk of falling all the way back down that section you were just...
Roger that. All right. This is fun. Nice day too. Not too cold and the sun's out.
Best news is we got all day tomorrow. Save something special for you. A little snowstorm, a little ice storm, a little elevation gain, you know, all that. The notch.
That'll be interesting.
Coming soon to you.
Been trying to make it to this day the last 2 weeks. Just happy to be here. Last thing we got to do.
This is fucking nothing. It's full on up there, all right?
Before beginning the climb, all students must put on avalanche transceivers, including our producer.
All right, Jake, there's your transceiver on, so we can find you in case of an avalanche. Keep it underneath everything so that it's the last thing to get ripped off your body.
We're gonna delay 30 minutes, go in there, and then get out of the wind, all right?
Students take cover from the storm in latrines, while cadre decide what to do next.
Yeah!
It's good golfing weather. As long as you're hitting with the wind, you're all right.
Dude, my shank would be crazy in this weather.
After 30 minutes, Avalanche signs have been reported on the notch.
This morning we sent out our advanced crew, as we always do, to just scout the route, and decided that there was naturally occurring small slab avalanches, which is an extreme danger sign, increasing the avalanche danger to the considerable level, and there's no reason that we need to expose our soldiers to that.
Yeah, we just got the bad news, man. We're not doing the notch.
We had to adapt to the environmental conditions today, that we had some avalanche problems, that we decided to pull down to lower elevation training.
And I went to school in Vermont here for 4 years. Always heard about the notch. Wicked excited to do it. Now we're not doing it, so I guess it drew the short straw today, Jake. But we'll figure it out. We'll still do something cool.
Instructors set up an adapted training area at a much lower elevation.
Are you ready to get out of here? I am ready to get out of here. Yeah, I got a 7-month at home and a 7-year-old at home that I'm ready to get back to. So I'm pretty pumped.
What's it like being away from them this long?
I do it often, so I get used to it, but towards the tail end of the trip, it always sucks a little bit. Yep, you following it?
29.
Had to just kind of pull a little bit more advanced techniques with some of the more familiarized things they had learned through the course with avalanche mitigation, going through with beacons, shovels, and probes.
Yeah, keep it going up. Try to get that low number. A little higher. Yeah. 1.1. Make sure it's the same height. Okay, a little higher. Okay. Keep going. Okay, and then mark that area somehow, like with your foot or like hand or whatever. Okay, right there. Now get the probe, and when you probe, make sure it's perpendicular to the hill, so it's like going like that angle. Is it kind of bouncy? No? Okay. Now do that clover leaf, yeah. Okay, go up. Check. That's it, yeah.
After completing the avalanche training, students ascend to an area of the notch protected by cliff faces to practice movements along fixed ropes.
It just shows our students, the benefit of this training and how a simple fixed rope can move people through otherwise inaccessible terrain.
Yeah, it's a little deep.
It's kind of a satisfying feeling. Bummer we didn't get to climb the notch, but I mean everything else we got to do was really fun. So it was a nice little cherry on top, but I guess I'm ready to go back to the desert.
Are you going to be rushing to get back out in the snow anytime soon?
I think a little part of me is going to miss the snow, but I do not miss the cold, that's for sure.
Let's do it.
Currently, soldiers who graduate from the basic military mountaineer course, they get what's called the Ram's Head device, which has its lineage all the way back to Camp Hale in Colorado.
This country needs you. Don't anybody take that away from you. Now, we've heard all kinds of narratives about the military, and a lot of folks thinking that, well, I guess if you can't do anything better, you should probably join the military. Well, that's probably one of the most ignorant things I have ever heard. You look at your professionalism, your expertise, your work ethic, and what you bring to this nation, you're simply the best that we have to offer.
Geopolitics is nonlinear. We love to sit right now with the status quo, the way things currently are in the world, and we say, well, we can't imagine ever having a conflict between India and China. That would never happen, because the Himalaya are just too big. The more that we're equipped to send a unit to that area and operate in that complex terrain without completely falling apart because they don't know how to walk up a hill, the more equipped we are to potentially preempt conflict as well.
It's done. It's over. How do you feel?
I'm excited, proud.
You're the only female to graduate. How's that feel?
just proud, and it definitely just sets the standard and expectation that, you know, women can do it as well.
Sad that I have to leave the boys, but like wicked happy to go home.
We came, we saw, we completed the course, we got our little ram's head.
We think about this idea of return on investment. The way that I think about and experience mountain training and mountain warfare and being in a mountain unit is really, it's one of the best places to get that return on investment. What's demanded from these soldiers on a day-to-day basis is often above and beyond what's demanded from just normal Army training.
I grabbed the wrong bag. My pants are in the other bag.
Never been anywhere where it just snows this much at one time. Like, it's just accumulated so much since we've been here already, and it's crazy.